I'd like to now give the podium over to our newly elected president, Hank Waltz, who would like to express some words of welcome back to our beginnings here. And as a reminder, cell phones off, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome back. The linguist was attending the funeral of his colleague. He asked the colleague's widow if he might say a word. She nodded affirmatively and replied that he could. He stood up and said, "Plethora," and then promptly sat down. "Thank you," she said. "That means a lot." That I can welcome you as we join together and see one another on this July morning after 15 months apart. That means a lot. That we can join together in this wonderful building that is our Unitarian Universalist home. That means a lot. That we've been able to sustain our fellowship via meeting and communicating in Zoom, by phone, by email, even by greeting card. That means a lot. And that nature has once again shown that it is never spent. There lives the dearest freshness deep down things. That means a lot. I, perhaps like you, had certainly been aware before the events of the last year of the Spanish flu pandemic of 1918, 1919. I'd heard of SARS, I'd heard of MERS, but they were so terribly remote, either in time or distance. And then suddenly we found ourselves in the thick of the thing, the pandemic, rivaling the one of a century earlier. And what medicine offered then, which was essentially masks and physical distancing 100 years later, is what medicine offered today. And it was scary and humbling that science and medicine could but repeat the prescriptive actions of a century ago, but then along came the vaccines. In record time, from multiple companies in multiple countries on multiple continents, they brought a totally new meaning to the phrase, the shot heard around the world. And here we are today. I'll try not to sound like a speaker at the Oscars, but there are folks I want to acknowledge and thank. Tom Thorpe was our president when the pandemic began, and he was felled by it. But we're so happy that he's doing better, albeit still showing some of the effects of the long haul. He was succeeded by Bob Dowling, who as vice president was to complete Tom's term as president, and who basically led us from pre-pandemic to in-pandemic, and served as well as chairperson of our reopening task force. Bob was succeeded by Paula Christensen, to whom fell the task of presiding over a fellowship that could no longer act as a fellowship in terms of in-person meetings. Not an easy task. And Paula was succeeded by Dave Studebaker, who provided valuable and seasoned leadership as we began to see the proverbial light at the end of the tunnel. Which brings us to today. This first day in nearly a year and a half that we've had the opportunity to once again enjoy the fellowship that we so sorely missed. Thank you to all of the previously mentioned for your leadership during these trying times. And thank you also to Bruce Nelson, who kept the wheels on the physical wagon, and to Sarah McKillop, who kept the wheels on the administrative wagon. And to Juliana Newman, who kept the wheels on the financial wagon. And to Susan Leader, who kept the wheels on the program wagon. And to all the others, be they board members, committee members, or fellowship members, who collectively kept the wheels on the wagon, allowing us to ride onto the highways and byways of the future, enlightening, informing, enriching, and enhancing our lives and the lives of those whom we touch. As spoke the poet Joni Mitchell, we are stardust, We are golden, and we've got to get back to the garden. Welcome back, and let it remain so.